Hello, my name is Joseph McCaffrey. I am a licensed professional counselor here in the state of Arizona and a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Washington. And I just want to take a moment and introduce myself, let you know what I'm up to and kind of the work that I do. Essentially, I work at the confluence between complex trauma, nature connection, and soul. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, essentially, let's just first take a look at complex trauma. And the way to understand complex trauma is just really simply it's the way that we learn to relate to and organize our internal experience as a child, and then how those patterns have manifested into adulthood. The trauma, relational trauma, occurs when there is a chronic pattern with adults around us who don't meet our needs, or there's abuse. And essentially, as a child, we're put into an impossible bind because, one, we rely on the adults to survive in the world, and two, we are wired in a way to be authentic. And if our authentic needs aren't being met, or if it's unsafe to be authentic, or if there's a threat associated when we begin to connect with ourselves, then we have to learn how to adapt to that environment. And often the way that we learn to adapt is through patterns of disconnection, often through shame. Shame, one way we can adapt to an environment that's not caring for us, is to make it bad, to make ourselves bad as a way to make the environment good. As a child, it would be unsafe to see that our adults aren't capable to take care of us. If there's not, our needs aren't being met over and over again, or if there's a lack of love in the environment, then there would be a lack of love in our universe. So to create a sense of hope, or a way that we might learn to survive, is to disconnect from ourselves. And again, we might do that through shame. We might do that through pressuring ourselves to meet some external expectation. We might develop patterns of pleasing others or taking care of other people's needs to get our own needs met. But the key words here in understanding how this connects to nature and soul is disconnection and objectification. Because in this process as a child, we split and see ourselves as a bad child who then needs to be a good child. And in that process, in a way, not only are we disconnecting from ourselves, but we are objectifying ourselves. And then when we move into adulthood, not only we are disconnected from ourselves, but the way we're relating to ourselves in the world as if we are an object and the world around us is an object. And we lose what in this field we call intersubjectivity, which is essentially our humanity, our connection to our hearts and to other people's hearts. So we can see this playing out right now in our society, so much so that the way that we're not only disconnected from ourselves, but so disconnected from the earth and the natural world that literally, if you look up the definition of nature on Google, you'll see that it's everything in the natural world except for humans. We've literally taken ourselves out of the picture. We're so disconnected from the very systems that we rely on to survive that we see ourselves as separate. And there's a lot to be said about that, which I'll talk more about in later posts. But just to start to kind of lay the foundation right now. And so how does this all connect with soul? Well, the way I understand soul is that it's our deepest authentic self. It's beyond any of the social roles that we hold. It is something who we truly are. And often one of the most powerful ways to start understand and connect with our soul is in relationship to the natural world. Why? Because everything in the natural world, beyond humans at least, exists embodying its full purpose. Whether it be a tree in the ecosystem, whether it be an insect, whether it be a river, whether it be a mountain, everything is in its full authentic expression. And so when we develop a deeper relationship with the natural world, then we can begin to gain a deeper sense of our own soul image. and the gifts that we bring into the world. But if we're living from a place of great disconnection or objectification, then it becomes very difficult to have that deeper relationship, not only with the natural world, but with and our soul, but with the aliveness that's in our heart when we're connected, that can help us to embody and bring our deepest purpose into the world. So this is the place I work. This is a place I'm passionate about. I'll be very excited to share a lot more about these topics with you as we move forward. Much love.